Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Advancement Center and to the world of magic and miracles and the industry of magic and miracles. I greet you with a smile. And as I was sitting here before the broadcast started, there was a moment when a smile came over my face, and I felt that that's what everything is about. What transmitted through my field in that one instant was the greatest broadcast that could ever be delivered. It's a powerful feeling, an expression full of that kind of mischief that you know something more, even if you don't know what you know, that's more. And when you share it, the connection with another person or another being, it does not require words because what's communicated is perfect for that person and perfect for you. And it doesn't need any detail. It's just a blast of energy that takes you somewhere over the rainbow, somewhere beyond everything for no reason. But that's what's inside of us. That's what created the world and the universe and the galaxies. A simple blast that's generated from a smile. It's incredible. So here we are again, as I get to share with you my world and how I see life and how I see you and the magnificence of everything, what we're capable of, what we are surpassing, and so much more. We've been escorted to this point in our life by thousands of beings that support us. And you only need look back to whenever it is for you to know that you were moved from something that was about to happen negatively to you, or given something that you needed in a moment, or shown something. And what's behind that is 1,000 beings and more. That work for you in essence, because it's your destiny that you set out on. And if it was going to take 100 years, you need to be here for 100 years. So when you're about to have something happen that's would take you away from here, they arrive and change that reality. We can't always remember all those moments, and many of them we don't even know how severe they were because we've been shielded from what's coming. But it is an elegant orchestration of caring and love and support and magic that is handed down to each one of us in that moment. The only thing we can relate it to is being a parent and how you grab your child's arm as he's about to run into the street. He has no clue as the car goes past. He's invincible. But you just shifted something. That's what's happening for us because we have somewhere to be. And they're making sure we get there. So I'll share a few words as I always do. In this year of the Great Remembrance, which I named that back in January of this year, each one is on their own individual timeline as the remembrance brings change, and the change brings growth, and the growth brings new life. We all have expressed in many different ways and at many different times that something is coming, that we can feel it in the air. Well, I'll tell you that that something that is coming is you. And we ask the question, how can something be coming and yet already be here? And the simple answer is both things are true. But when the you that's already here meets the you that is coming, you will be completely new. We know the child will become an adult. So in a way, the adult is already here. But as a child, it is still coming. That you that is arriving will be a combination of all the yous that have led to this you. And it will surpass and supersede all of your other thoughts and concerns. They will fall to the ground like rose petals falling from a beautiful rose, for you will see and feel the universe inside of you and all around you. And you will be far greater than any human concern. You are coming, and you are here. We are the ones, we are the ones, we are the ones that we're waiting for. We are the ones, we are the ones, we are the ones that we're waiting for. There are differences we cannot hide, yet we all are one spirit deep inside. Finding out our past has been denied. Now we can tell our story, start to question why. Climbing out from under fear We'll know what we're doing here, brothers and sisters. We are the ones, we are the ones, we are the ones that we're waiting for. We are the ones, we are the ones, we are the ones that we're waiting for. Who built this place where we live? 1,000,000 years ago. We've been trapped inside a grid while they feed us what they want us to know. The scientists keep telling me that we are all what we agree. So I agree to let you be anyone you want to be. We are the ones, we are the ones, we are the ones that we're waiting for. We are the ones, we are the ones, we are the ones that we're waiting for. Every stranger you see is a part of you. Teaching, we are the ones. Every stranger you see is a part of you. Knowing we are the ones. We are all there is. We are the all that is. And we will change the world. We are the ones. Yeah, we are all there is. We are the all that is. And we will make it happen. We are the ones. I see you. You see me. I feel you. You feel me. We are the ones, we are the ones, we are the ones that we're waiting for. You are the one, you are the one, you are the one that you're waiting for. And now, chapter 14 of This Life's a Hoot. In the meantime, your brain is fucked. Down the rabbit hole. As your human identity continues to fade beyond the horizon like the setting sun, only the people in your life that have shared a particular connection with you can keep you from completely disappearing. This produces a moment of holy shit. But on the other side of this moment is a life that cannot be comprehended. There is a different rhythm that exists in the reality that is outside of this physical plane. Your senses are opened in a different way. You begin to hear, feel, and see things that you did not hear, feel, and see before. And these things are becoming more real than the things you have always sensed with your human ears and eyes. This world of spirit, this other reality, is calling out to you now so that you can see who you really are and who you have always been. As this is happening to you, you will feel a feeling of expansion as your face is pulled back from its pressing on the glass window of your life in the physical plane. You will fully experience those words that Jesus spoke when he said, "Be in the world, but not of it." The communication with your creator, your twin, your team, entities and angels, loved ones that have passed over, and of course, friends like Simeon, will become more normal than talking to people in the physical plane. As you tumble down the rabbit hole, you may find it a little frightening at first, but soon you will find the balance and create the harmony between the two worlds that will make this new normal feel completely natural to you. It is a strange feeling at first when you're only used to hearing and knowing your own voice bringing you information, and then out of nowhere, you begin to notice another consciousness within your voice speaking. Maybe they have been there all the time, but it feels more like now is the time. As Simeon has just opened another channel, a wellspring of information can pour in from many different sources. As I myself was experiencing this, my initial feeling of who the consciousness was that I was hearing is my twin. There was an irreverence and a mischief in the communication and a familiarity that still felt like me, but with less bullshit and a little about fucking time sprinkled in for good measure. And all this without any of those exact words. I think for me, it was just an introduction in the beginning of something that will grow more and more every day. You may have already had these communications, so for you, it might be something different. But the channel has been opened, and down the rabbit hole we all go. It is mostly said that you have to be in the system to be able to manipulate it. But there is an awareness that is saying and transmitting the opposite. Therefore, we must get out of the system so that we might be able to manipulate it. And that is what is happening. We are being taken out of the constraints of the physical plane and into our true home of spirit, where we can influence life in the physical plane with all our natural abilities and the gifts that we have been given specifically to uplift humanity. Because we were born here and have been made to feel and experience all of the limitations and constraints. Lost my place. Because we were born here and have been made to feel and experience all of the limitations, we are a perfect weapon to unlock the shackles. We had to know it from within so that we could change it from without. It is and always has been part of a perfect plan to raise the consciousness of the human entity and raise the vibration of Earth herself, along with all the fields that surround every human being. Now we are about to make it happen. Do you remember the scene in the movie, The Matrix, when Neo went to see the Oracle? He was going to find out if he was the one that would surpass and transcend the system of limited beliefs that have been projected on and transmitted to all of humanity because we have forgotten the knowledge of our true nature as an immortal, eternal, spiritual being that is an aspect of the energy that everything has originated from. In essence, he was simply going to be one of the first to remember and begin to live his life from that knowing. He would then easily surpass all limitations and constraints without effort, because there would be none in that place, his origin, where he remembered that he came from. He would then be able to gently, with compassion, lead others to do the same. He did not believe that he was the one, because he only knew himself as an ordinary human being, but one who always had a sense that there was a force at play to suppress the recognition of our nature as something more than what is seen with our human eyes. Almost all of those that were in the group that he found himself in believed or were hoping or knew that he was the one. That one that had something within him that he didn't even know he had that would allow him to become a leader for the freeing of those in humanity that had forgotten that they were already free. So as he was led to meet the oracle, a woman that he was told would be able to tell him if he was the one, he had many thoughts running through his head. Thoughts like, I can't believe I'm the one. And if I am, we're screwed because I'm just Neo. I'm just me. There are so many others with far more talent and abilities than me. As he went into the door where the oracle was, he was told to take a seat and that the oracle would be right with him. He sat in a room that looked like a waiting room in an office, but also was very cozy, like someone's house. There were others in the room with him, and it had the feeling as if these were other applicants waiting to get the job as the one. There were kids bending spoons with their minds, kids moving objects around the room with what seemed like some kind of telepathy or telekinesis. He thought, I'm clearly not the one. I can't do anything like even what these kids are doing. Finally, he was invited in to meet the oracle, an older lady of color who exuded wisdom and the ability to see. As Neo walked in to where the oracle was, she was baking cookies. She said, they smell good, don't they? She said, I'd ask you to sit down, but you're not going to anyway. And then she said, and don't worry about the vase. Neo turned around to look to his left and said, what vase? And then he bumped into it and knocked it over. It was filled with flowers and water and went crashing to the floor. The oracle smiled and said, that vase. Neo said, I'm sorry. And the oracle said, I told you, don't worry. I'll get one of my kids to fix it. Neo said, how did you know? And the oracle laughed and said, what's really going to bake your noodle later on is would you have still broken it if I hadn't said anything? She then came over to him and said, you're cuter than I thought. I can see why she likes you. And Neo said, who? And the oracle said, not too bright though. And yes, I'll add here, it's true that the man is always the last to know. So you see, there was a female character in the movie whose name was Trinity, and she had been told by the oracle many years before that the man that she would fall in love with would be the one. The oracle then said, you know why Morpheus, who was the leader, brought you to see me? Neo nodded yes. And the oracle said, so what do you think? Do you think you're the one? Neo said, honestly, I don't know. The oracle then pointed to a sign behind him and above his head and said, do you know what that means? It's Latin. It means know thyself. She then said to him, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Being the one is just like being in love. No one can tell you you're in love. You just know it through and through, balls to bones. She then stood up and said, well, I better have a look at you. Open your mouth and say, ah. She then said, okay, now I'm supposed to say, that's interesting. But then you say, and Neo said, but what? Then the oracle said, but you already know what I'm going to tell you. And Neo said, I'm not the one. And the oracle said, sorry, kid, you've got the gift, but it looks like you're waiting for something. Neo said, what? And she said, I don't know. Your next life, maybe. Who knows? That's the way these things go. Neo laughed, and the oracle said, "What's so funny?" Neo said, "Morpheus, he almost had me convinced that I was the one." The oracle said, "I know, poor Morpheus. Without him, we're lost." Neo said, "What do you mean, without him?" The oracle took a drag of her cigarette and said, "Are you sure you want to hear this?" She said, "Morpheus believes in you, Neo, and no one, not you or even me, can convince him otherwise. He believes it so blindly that he is going to sacrifice his life to save yours." Neo said, "What?" The oracle continued, "You're going to have to make a choice. In the one hand, you'll have Morpheus's life, and in the other hand, you'll have your own. One of you is going to die. Which one will be up to you." The oracle said, "I'm sorry, kiddo. I really am. You have a good soul, and I hate giving good people bad news. But don't worry about it. As soon as you step out of this door, you'll start feeling better. You'll remember that you don't believe any of this destiny and fate crap. You're in control of your own life, remember?" She said, "Here, take a cookie. I promise by the time you're done eating it, you'll feel right as rain." Neo then walked out of the door where Morpheus was sitting and waiting for him to come out. Morpheus smiled and said, "What was said was for you and for you alone." And they walked out together. It wouldn't be long after this when that moment came and Neo would risk his own life to save Morpheus. He still hadn't believed that he was the one, but in the moment where his love for Morpheus superseded his care for his own well-being, a courage was born, and an indomitable spirit was brought forward from the depths of his being. It produced a determination that would not be denied, and in that exact moment, he became the one. In that moment, he remembered. All those factors triggered and turned on his power and abilities that were already inside of him and that have always been inside of each one of us. Each one of us will be turned on in our own unique way. But what is the same is that we all are the one. Neo went on to defeat the enemy, for once he realized that he was the one, they were no match for his power. As they shot bullets at him, he just raised one hand with the palm facing out and said, "No." And the bullets fell to the ground right in front of his face. He then turned and looked at the enemy, and they knew they were finished. All but one turned and ran, and the one that thought he could overtake Neo was destroyed in seconds. This is what we have been doing, and what we will do in even greater proportion. This movie could not have demonstrated this so clearly if it wasn't true. And so we continue to strip away the things that have made our brains fucked, allowing more and more of the essence of the one to occupy this human form while never losing the feeling that this life is a hoot. Cheers, everyone. And from one of those ones that are here now and recognizes himself, and who also recognizes you as the one, I simply remind you that you are the owner of a perfect life with perfect health and a magic future filled with infinite possibilities. Thank you for listening. I am David.